It's that dreaded 3 a.m. and your mind starts turning on you. It starts to become vicious. It starts to tell you that you're not good enough. It starts to tell you that you're failing. It tells you that you're a burden. It tells you that you need to man up. And in that moment, it doesn't feel like a thought at all. It actually feels like the truth. I've sat with many people in this exact experience, and it's one of the most painful patterns to go through alone. But what's actually happening here, it's not truth-telling. It's a nervous system under stress, interpreting thoughts through a threat state. You know full well that you're good enough, but your mind's telling you otherwise. So hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm the creator of the Heart to Heal method, a framework for emotional regulation, anxiety reduction, and nervous system support. I work with people experiencing anxiety, self-criticism, overwhelm, and persistent nighttime overthinking. Often high-performing individuals who can hold it all together during the day, but find nights where everything becomes loud and nasty. You feel like you're just not coping with it. One of the common things that I hear is this. At night, my thoughts are about myself and they become really harsh and I can't switch them off. And they start to get really nasty and really personal. And I feel like I'm failing everybody. I know how distressing that can feel because it's not just thinking, it's the emotional weight that comes with it. Because when you think about these things, it'll bring up a lot of emotional feelings as well. So in this video, I'll explain why this happened, why those thoughts feel so convincing at night, and how to begin separating anxiety-driven thinking from your reality. So why does self-critical thoughts intensify at night? Well, at night, your nervous system shifts into a more sensitive state. And, because there's fewer distractions, then that means that you've got more internal amplification. And in this quiet space, like when you're in bed and stuff, you often see the same pattern show up again and again and again. Your brain starts to scan for problems, and it'll look for problems that don't even exist. It'll emotionally start processing things and it increases that pressure. It'll bring up old memories and patterns to the surface more easily. And the self-critical thoughts feel so loud, so urgent, and so true. This is something that I recognise not just in a professional capacity, but in how the nervous system behaves under sustained pressure. Because I've been through this, I've had these thoughts, and they still pop up at times, but you try and deal with them the best you can. Because what I've noticed and what it does is it starts to treat them thoughts that you're having about yourself as if they're facts, rather than just being a stress signal. So what you experience is not clear thinking at all. It's more of an activated system. I'll tell you something else too. It's not always your voice you're hearing either. It's normally the person that's telling you that you're not good enough and you're being silly and all that kind of stuff. So what does this actually look like? Well, you start replaying mistakes or perceived failures. You start an harsh internal dialogue about your worth and your capabilities. You start shaming and guilting yourself, more strongly. You lie awake even when you are absolutely knackered, but you still lie awake. And there's a sense of being stuck in your own head. And because there's no internal interruptions from anywhere at 3 o'clock in the morning, the loop can feel really continuous. What I often reflect back to clients is this: just because it's happening in silence doesn't mean that it's accurate. It doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that, you know, there's space in your head for it to be heard, and it's trying to tell you something. So it will have an impact on you over time. You know, when the pattern becomes repeated, it can begin to affect all kinds of different things. So it will affect your self-confidence and your decision making. It will affect your emotional resilience when you feel under pressure. It'll affect your sleep quality, you know, and your recovery. So when you wake up in the morning, you still feel shattered. You might feel a bit more moody and you're a bit more snappy, and you don't have much tolerance for stress. You also think about your overall sense of self-worth. And, you know, when you're going through all this and then something sort of subtly happens over time, people start questioning their thoughts, not because they're true, but because they become familiar. If you're constantly telling yourself that, you know, I'm not good enough, I should have done that better, why did I not do that? Oh, are people going to even believe me? It can become a really harsh land to be in. But just because they're there and you're saying them and they become familiar to you, that doesn't mean that they're, you know, that they're true. Because if you think about the first one, for example, that you're not good enough, you could probably write down on a piece of paper 20 reasons why you are good enough, and only 2 or 3 reasons why you don't think you are. You know, so it's the repetition of the thoughts that you're having that make it feel like it's true. But there is no evidence to back that up that it is the truth. What it is evidence of a system that's stuck in a loop of activation. And that distinction matters more than most people realise. So you're probably thinking, well, how do I shift this pattern? Because it's something that I do quite often. But the shift is not about trying to silence the mind or replace the thoughts with positivity. It's about changing your relationship with what the mind is doing at night time. In my work through my Heart to Heal method, this often involves helping clients to recognise the self-critical thinking as a stress response, you know, and separating the emotional activation that comes with it from the factual truth. You know, because your emotions can make you feel like, yeah, it's real, this is me. We also look at regulating the nervous system to reduce the intensity of it at night time. You know, processing underlying emotional pressure in a safe way, rebuilding internal stability and self-trust over time. And as this begins to shift, people then often notice that when they have these thoughts, they don't have the emotion that comes with it, because it's the emotion that makes you feel, you know, like you're not coping. You get an improved sleep and you feel more mentally quiet. You feel an increased, you know, that you have increased self-compassion. You reduce the internal criticism and the looping, and you feel better at making daily decisions. If this video resonates with you, then just take a moment to reflect on this question. So when your mind becomes critical at night, do you treat it as truth, or do you look at it as a nervous system that's under pressure? Because that distinction alone can change how much authority those thoughts hold over you. This is another reason why I say to a lot of my clients, have a notepad at the side of your bed. Because when you wake up in the night time and you're thinking about these thoughts and your mind's criticising you and telling you things, and you can then write down what it is that your mind's saying to you. You know, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm a crap husband, I'm a crap dad, you know, whatever that might be. Same for ladies, crap mum, you know, a crap wife, whatever it might be. But if you write down what it is that your thoughts are saying about you, the critical bits, and then you, on the other side, then look at it and say, well, how can I counteract that with something that tells me that that isn't true? Because that will help you to understand that the critical thoughts are just your nervous system telling you that you're under pressure and you need to sort something out. And that distinction alone can change how much authority those thoughts hold over you. Because, oh boy, believe me, they can be really strong and they can tie you down and have you in knots. But if you don't give them that control and you look at it and you analyse it, then they lose that power over you. If you found this video useful, then please subscribe and follow for more content on emotional resilience, anxiety recovery, and sustainable high performance. You can find my weekly LinkedIn newsletter, Permission to Pause, and my monthly newsletter, Inner Compass, for deeper insights. And if you'd like to explore working with me, details are available in the description box below. Take care, and I shall see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.